are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans.
Oh, Canada.
For Tuesday, the 6th of May, I'm Randy Kure. This is Voice of the Fans Canada. Thank you, as always, for joining us, whether it is live on YouTube or X, or if you're downloaded tonight's episode off of your favorite podcast catcher at VOF Canada on most social media platforms. Appreciate you, as always, if you like or subscribe. It's perhaps the best time of the year to be a sports fan. We are going to go heavy on the NBA playoffs. We'll chat about the NHL playoffs as well, and especially with hockey, how it's being consumed these days in the United States after the Four Nations Faceoff. It's also the end of an era in San Antonio after 5 NBA championships, 3 Coach of the Year awards, an Olympic bronze and gold medal. Gregg Popovich has stepped down as coach. He will assume the role of president with the club. Mike Malone is out as well in Denver. Malone led the Nuggets to their first NBA championship less than 2 years ago, but has been shown the door along with general manager Calvin Booth. Shedeur Sanders hasn't been shown the door, but it appears he wasn't shown a lot of love during the NFL draft. Believed to be a top pick, the son of primetime was taken in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. And now that the Luka Doncic experience has begun in Tinseltown, how long will it last? That and a lot more. There may be a trade war brewing between Canada and the United States, but it is all love here at Voice of the Fans. Neel Katarey is back with me once again. Neel, how are you?
Good to be with you again, Randy.
Thank you so much. And our partners from Voice of the Fans Sportscast is back. They are from the great state of Mississippi, and really great, especially it is apparently some bad weather over their way. Always grateful that they are joining Neel and myself tonight. He is definitely going to be giving his 100%. Ronnie, RC Clark is here. RC, great to see you again.
Hey, man, great to be on with you guys. Glad to see you guys.
Great to see you too. And the host of the Voice of Fans Sportscast at VOF Sportscast on your major social media platforms, Ben Swift. Reynolds is back once again. Swift, how's it going, my man?
It's going good. Always feels good to be back with y'all boys.
No, it's definitely a pleasure. We tried to get something going for the past couple of weeks, and hopefully Damian Flowers will be able to join us as well. As mentioned, there's some bad weather going on in Mississippi. Hope you and yours are keeping safe, and hopefully Flowers will be able to join us as the show goes on. And guys, we might as well get right into it. And I'd be remiss. The Canadian in me, fellas, is forcing me to talk a little hockey first. And, with the Four Nations Faceoff, guys, it was the first time such a tournament took place. And it pitted Canada, the United States, Sweden, and Finland. It was the first time international competition really took place in a grand scale since the 2014 Olympics. And the tournament was really highly talked about here in Canada, of course, but there was some skepticism. I mean, we didn't really know if the players were going to take it seriously, and they definitely did. I mean, they exceeded all of our expectations. Swift, I'd love to start it with you. How much of the tournament was being talked about in your ways, and did you follow it much?
I didn't really follow it a lot. I really didn't hear a lot of wave. The only time I did participate or look at it was on IG or on my sports news feed. It just when I have working on a podcast stuff, I gotta put my mind on certain things. So I wanted to watch some of the games, but I was working on different projects at the time. But when I saw the highlights, man, I was pumped, man. I was excited. I was like, dang, I missed a good one between USA and Canada. And I think hockey is on its own with the four nations. I mean, it brings out that type of European type feel. You know how them guys, when they watch soccer, how they all into it with some of the other countries. So it had that soccer feel to it pretty much, with all the fans getting into it and room for their nation. So kudos to the NHL for getting that right.
And as mentioned, it's really been a decade since major international competition took place. Of course, the last time the NHL was allowed to participate in the Winter Olympics was 2014. They are going to go back when the Olympics are in Italy next year. And, with the likes of Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews, it was the first time they're representing their country as members of the NHL. And, RC, of course, the start of the Four Nations Faceoff was during NBA All-Star Weekend. And I can definitely appreciate that we as human beings are creatures of habit, and the NBA All-Star Weekend and even the game itself, I mean, people gravitate towards that. And it is, hockey just really started to take a lot more notice, in my assumption, in the United States. But getting back to the NBA, though, I mean, it seemed that the Four Nations really took all the sports headlines away from the NBA All-Star Weekend. And I mean, do you think that this is going to force the NBA to really try and come to some sort of resolution and trying to get more excitement back to that weekend?
I don't think it will. I think the NBA, what they did with the in-season playoffs, they're like gonna try a lot of different things. But I think ultimately they'll get back to the East versus the West, because I think that's what the NFL and the NBA, they kind of mess with things you shouldn't mess with. That's one of the things they should have never messed with. Just keep it simple. I mean, it's the All-Star Weekend. Really, people look forward to the three-point shootout, the dunk contest, the skill competition. That Saturday night. That's Sunday. I don't care how, my generation of guys, I seen the All-Star game back then, they were scoring a lot of points too. It wasn't just like they'll wait to the fourth quarter and get after it. But the first three quarters, no one's really playing defense. I think it's the overreaction to something that's not really a big deal. No one really cares about All-Star games anymore. Just compete in the fourth quarter and just show that you care. A lot of these guys, with the advent of social media, under a microscope and watching them very closely. So we're kind of critiquing them probably a lot more than we should. But I don't think that there's a sense of urgency for the NBA to change it much. But in the NHL, on the other hand, we're going to capitalize off of, creating, like he said, the soccer format. It's like, I think there's room for it in the United States for, the excitement part of it. But the NBA is just, I think they're kind of spoiled. So I don't think they're really going to mess with, anything. They don't have to grow that game anymore. That game is grown.
Question for the room here. So, RC, I agree with the possibility of East versus West in the NBA All-Star game. What if the winning conference gets Game 7 home court advantage in the NBA Finals? I mean, I know I'm throwing this out here for you, but that's something to play for. And,
Yeah.
I will never forget, especially because Nick Nurse was the coach of the of what was that, Team Giannis, when the 2020 All-Star game, Kyle Lowry was taking charges. I mean, there was a lot of effort, like Embiid and Giannis, LeBron. Who else am I missing here, Neel? Like that final quarter in the 2020 All-Star game when it was in Chicago. Of course, it was less than a month when Kobe Bryant died. But maybe it was more so in honor of him. But I'm throwing it out here. Don't you think that there might be a little bit more excitement and a little bit more effort if the winning conference gets home court advantage in the All-Star game?
Yeah, I personally think if you throw anything tangible like Game 7 of the finals as a reward, of course it will increase the effort by the players. But I'm of the opinion that something so highly sort of regarded like home court advantage in the NBA finals should be something that, for example, if Jokic is in the All-Star game, it should not be that his efforts and those efforts of people on other teams should diminish the efforts that his own teammates have had during the course of a season to earn that Game 7 at home. So to me, the NBA doing that sort of thing would be a disrespect to the non-All-Stars that work just as hard in some cases, play their role, do their thing to help the team for still an event that by and large is not going to get the effort that is anywhere close to an actual NBA game. So I would be against that idea. But what I am, going back to your talking about four nations, I am in favor of them trying out a USA versus the world format, because I think that is going to at least light a fire under one or the other side. And then the other one either going to follow suit or going to get cleaned up on the court. I think that could be a possibility. And I think Adam Silver mentioned he's toying with that idea.
I just don't think that there's going to be. Oh, sorry, Swift, please go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying like Neel was saying, giving that as a reward, I think that is a slap in the face in a lot of role players and a lot of people that do leave on court. And that's a bad sign, I think, for the NBA, that you gotta give that as a prize in order to generate guys caring. Then we get sit at the table and talk, because you shouldn't have to encourage somebody like that to go play a game they're getting paid millions of dollars to compete. And with the All-Star game, shoot, we don't even know some of these superstars want to win. They seem like some of them all about the bag more than trophy. So that's the case in that. Some guys like, shoot, I don't care as long as I'm getting paid. I don't care if I ever win a championship. There's some guys with that mentality. I don't care about winning a championship. I'm just caring about making as much money as possible. So you have to get everybody on the same accord in order to really get competitive atmosphere out of those players.
I agree with him. I think the players are so entitled. They make so much money. They're not as hungry and passionate about it. The NFL, the NHL, Major League Baseball, they make a lot of money, but you can see those guys, they love that game. You can tell. I'm not saying just the NBA right now in the playoffs, this is the most passion they've played with in years. They're allowing them to be physical, allowing, we're not asking you guys to go out and clothesline each other, but we need some physicality. So what I'm saying, these guys most of these guys are younger, don't have a real vet that they can look up to, and then they can kind of instill certain things in them to make them appreciate or understand what they actually get to do every day. They just act. A lot of these guys think they're supposed to be doing this. So I don't think you can entice them. I don't think there's nothing you really throw out there for them, because they love the lifestyle more than they do the game. You can see it's obvious. It's about the money and the fashion now. So.
Oh, don't even tell me about the fashion. I mean, their fashion is so terrible. I'm sorry. Please go.
I'm about to say, Randy. Hey guys, how about this? Instead of an All-Star game, we'll have an All-Star Fashion Week. Who can wear the best costume on the runway?
I'll tell you this: if that happens, James Harden might finally become a champion.
No, he will not.
Kyle Kuzma might finish one.
Kyle Kuzma versus Jalen Green finals. Oh, don't make me tune into that.
Fashion Week. I can see it now.
Oh.
NBA Fashion Week. There we go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Between James Harden and Kyle Kuzma, even Shea looks ridiculous sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
SGA. Oh my goodness.
oh, what? I mean, I
Yeah,
know
but
that this wasn't supposed to be a
Halliburton.
topic.
That's another one.
For me, when I see like a guy like Kuzma, who clearly he either don't got it no more or he don't care, because when he was on the Lakers, he had that hunger in him. He played a role on that team. He was a critical part of the championship. He seems like a washed up player that's not even in his prime yet. But Shea, now you talk about a guy with the old school mentality, the guy with the true mentality of a leader. He's leading this young team. They couldn't help him last night, but he's a true leader and he's going to be end his career as an all-time great player. But he's got, so if he wants to look the way he wants to look on social media, I'm fine with anything he does because I know that he got what he got underneath. It's the guys
Not
that only
me.
official and not the depth. I don't give two rats about.
No, I'm
I kind of
sorry.
just wish.
Please.
I just kind of wish they bring back the suit and ties, man. I always just thought that was classy. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the suits walking into the arena. They always look like they're about business. When you wear a suit, it's just something about it, like, oh yeah, that guy mean business. He coming in for something.
I think
So, yeah, it's just
In effect.
I think it's a repeat of history repeating itself. If you go back to the guys that played in the 70s and the 80s, they dressed like this.
Mm.
So it's a history repeating itself. Because I had to check myself. I was looking at some old albums and some, Frankie Beverly and Mays and the Isaac Bro. I'm like, what the hell they got on? You know what I'm saying? So it's history repeating itself, man. I think this is just where we at. But I think I wouldn't care so much, like my guy said, if they played harder, because as fans we deserve that. The other night I was watching the Knicks and the Celtics, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. It was just you could just tell they wanted it. And I saw Cleveland and Indiana, they was banging, and I was like, this is what I grew up on. This is what we're talking about. That competitive, spirit and energy where you playing at a certain level. So that's what I want to see. They could dress however the hell they want to, as long as they come out and play hard. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that every night. So
Yeah. No, actually, the NHL guys, they have a strict dress code policy. When you walk into the arena, it is business attire.
yeah.
And they don't really wear the wild suits like the full jacket. Like they don't wear. I don't really notice them wearing like wild, colorful, fluorescent colors and so on. But it is always a full suit. And when I see some of these guys, and obviously their skill is what it is, and I mean, if my Raptors and Neel's Raptors are contending for the title, then maybe I wouldn't care as much. But I don't take these guys seriously. They look so damn ridiculous. I mean, they cannot look in the mirror and say, I look like a Calvin Klein model. Like, what are they thinking? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I saw the Met Gala. Have y'all seen the Met Gala?
Yeah.
And I saw
Yes.
Andre 3000 walking the Met Gala with a piano on his back. And I'm like,
what in the world?
like, dude, I just don't understand. Like, you would not have worn that as a broke man, as a man, middle class American. You would not have dared wore that in any place you walk and live. And then you become rich and you walking around with a piano on your back or a balloon jacket where you're actually floating in the building, or Kanye with the mask over his face. Like, that's not fashion. They're making a fool out of you. It's actually, I think they're humiliating them. It's like a humiliation ritual. You wouldn't dare wear this stuff. Colin Kaepernick, cut that fro, man. Like, what?
Now, the funniest one was, I think it was years back, but Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, he wore a castle as a hat.
Yeah.
Castle.
Oh,
Look, y'all niggas look it up. It's
Just out of touch. Out of touch.
It almost like a dude from one of them children TV shows, where they try to get the kids to dance and stuff. Like he had this castle on his head. I was just like, what in the world?
Humiliation ritual, man.
Yeah, bro.
I think I saw. I can't remember if it was Kylie or Kendall Jenner. I don't know one from the other, but I think one of them had a dress made of the pop tab, like the soda can pop tabs,
Recycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all about Earth. They recycle.
I'm with you though, Randy. There's no way they truthfully look in the mirror and say, "Oh man, I'm clean. I look good." Oh, I feel like I feel good. You know what? And then, how do you get in your vehicle? How did Andre? He must have rolled like a very large vehicle. I mean, how did you get that piano? I mean, do we have a section? But I have so many questions for him. Like, you have your own section because you in everybody's way. You in everybody's way. You can't nobody see anything behind you or in front of you. So it's like, what's the thought process behind some of the outfits?
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's another bracket.
Anybody in the chat there, if you're listening on YouTube there, if you have any wild any votes for who you think the most ridiculous athlete or celebrity is, let us know in the comments there. And guys, why don't we go over to some serious sports talk? And Neel, some may say that the one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach in NBA history, is stepping aside. Gregg Popovich has retired as coach of the Spurs following a series of health matters, stroke back in November. Popovich will assume the role of president with the Spurs. It wasn't really a surprise, but Neel, your thoughts on Pop's retirement?
Well, you know, I'm gonna thank you guys in advance for your patience, because this is definitely a topic that I feel passionate about. I've watched Pop all his career, man, and look, I don't fault anybody, nobody. I can't find a fault with anybody who says to me that Phil Jackson is the GOAT. But to me, Gregg Popovich is the GOAT, and I'm gonna tell you why. Look, not everything is about numbers. If it was, why does everyone say Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time and not Bill Russell? Same way. Phil Jackson got 11 rings and Popovich got 5. But look, Popovich had sustained excellence he had 22 years in a row where he won 50 games plus. Okay? Not only that, he did it in the gauntlet that was the Western Conference year after year. We're talking about playoff runs against the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, the Kobe Gasol Lakers, the Nash Stoudemire Suns. We're talking Dirk Nowitzki MVP years with the Mavs, the Oklahoma City Thunder when they had their big three with KD, Russ, and Harden. KG, let's not forget about him. Look, that was a gauntlet. And I will say this, okay? Phil Jackson always took over his championship teams at a time when they were already firmly in contention with superstars either entering their prime or smack dab in their prime. And what did Pop do? Pop started from the ground up, man. He started from the ground up. He created the culture of winning before any of these guys showed up. He got Tim Duncan, but after that, this culture, he got Tony Parker at the end of the first round, Manu Ginobili at the end of the second round, Kawhi Leonard outside of the lottery. In each of those cases, he turned these guys into legends. He started them on a course of greatness. And now Duncan would be great anywhere, but there's a fair question to ask. What would Tony Parker or Manu Ginobili have become, or even to a degree Kawhi Leonard, even though I think he would still be great, if they had ended up on other franchises from the beginning? I tell you this, they were drafted by the best spot possible, and that's because of Gregg Popovich. You know, so what I say is Pop was the GOAT of the ground up game because he started it and he finished it with all these guys. He really, to me, no one cared about his players more than Gregg Popovich. Okay, he cared about these guys as men before professional ball players. I mean, look at Manu Ginobili. He loved this guy so much that he could have started on any basketball team in the world. Forget the NBA, in the world, and Manu Ginobili would have been one of the top players on the team. He willingly took a sixth man role for years in his prime to help the winning culture influenced by Pop at the top. And that is just a testament to, you know, what his effect on these guys. And look, talk about an innovator. Phil Jackson, okay, he was also a master, but he always did everything with the Tex Winter triangle offense. All of his championship teams, they ran that to the death. Popovich, his early years, his early championships were post-dominant, dominant defensive teams with the Twin Towers. And when he noticed that things were shifting in the NBA, when the three-point line and the 7-second offense with Nash and the Suns came about, what did he do? Well, he adapted, and he sort of set the trend of this fluid team movement, positionless basketball concepts that many teams that are winning teams today go by. And he kind of started that. And, to be honest, it all came to a beautiful sort of conclusion, mountaintop, when San Antonio won that 2014 championship against Miami in their big three. And we're talking about one of the most impressive titles of all time. We're talking about him with his core guys, the big three, Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. None of them were in their primes. They were all past their primes. And Kawhi Leonard was not in his prime yet during that championship, whereas the entire big three of the Miami Heat were all smack dab in their primes. Not only that, they outscored that Miami team by 14 points per game on average in that series and beat them 4-1. That was a complete
they won that series in 5. Yeah.
Complete annihilation. And let's not forget about the fact that they were 1 second away from a 6th championship, if not for Ray Allen. So, I mean, we forget about that sometimes, but they were this close, closer than many other teams ever taste that. And so what my final point on Pop, look, sometimes things go beyond the numbers, beyond the stats, and even beyond the rings. You know, there's never been a coach, in my opinion, that has maintained and demanded and sort of cultivated the respect and the reverence from his guys like Popovich has. And, you know, just yesterday I saw the press conference that Popovich gave where he was handing over the reins to Mitch Johnson, the new coach, who was the interim coach last year. He's the new head coach of the Spurs. Popovich came there with sort of his retirement ceremony / Mitch Johnson's introduction. And I noticed, you know, like you do with a lot of these big Spurs events, that the legends were all there, man. Robinson, Duncan, Ginobili. And you see Pop had a stroke. As he's walking off the podium, you could tell the left side of his body, he limping. He's not moving all the way right because he's going to have the residual effects from the stroke. He's not going to be able to travel and stuff like that. So he literally worked till he had to stop, man. He had to. And when I see that image of Ginobili and Duncan walking, it just tells me, it gives me this sense that Popovich was like, these guys are like good sons treating a legendary father that led them the right way in life. He's like their professional father, if you will, or to throw a pun in there, a good pops. And and to me, that speaks to his true greatness, and he elevates him to my mind in the GOAT because, look, he's the guy that he not only demanded the love, respect, and reverence of his players, but he put it in them to put those same love, respect, and reverence to the game. And he's the GOAT of that, to me.
I know that, yeah, I mean,
I need to drink some water after that one.
how do you really feel?
He was passionate.
I mean, look, recency bias is what it is, but, well, would you put Popovich over Phil Jackson? I mean, could, RC, Swift, I mean.
Ain't no way in hell I'm doing it.
I'm kind of biased. I was a Jordan fan and a Lakers fan, so I'm kind of biased on it. He had to work with some divas that most people couldn't work with. So that's why they call him Zen Master, I guess. But I can see the argument in both, really.
That's what I'm trying to say, is that there is an argument. Even though, it's hard to argue against Phil Jackson, I admit that. I'm the first guy to admit that it's very difficult. But what we're trying to do here is build a case for a legend. And, he has a convincing enough case that just like I said, like if you guys tell me Phil Jackson's the GOAT, I'm gonna be like, of course, that's a legitimate opinion. I think when someone throws Popovich in that mix, there is legitimacy to that argument.
So, please, RC.
I think for me, I want to be the first to do this. I think we need to get away from the greatest of all time. Because what it does is it seems like we have to devalue someone to pull someone up. And I think they're equally GOATs in their own right. Like when I think about the Michael Jordan, LeBron argument, like you can't go wrong with either. Of course, I'm gonna go with MJ.
Me too.
But with Pop I think Pop is more relatable than Phil. Phil more business like, let's get the W. He can bring if Pop, you probably could go to Pop with some issues, and he can work through your issues, which is more of like a father figure. And then Phil was the typical coach, ex-athlete, ex-player, all the other stuff. He could probably deal with all the other stuff. But they both go to my mind and greatest of all times. I think Pop grew on me after the series, seeing what he did with Kawhi and seeing him respond to the loss that they had to Miami, and they turn around and they win the next year. It's hard to get up after that type of loss. He didn't have to add nothing either. He didn't go out and add a Kevin Durant. He came right back with the group, and they rallied and they won. They beat a very good team. So, and then also seeing how he's pro player, how he's, like I said, relatable. I saw the same press conference you did. That's the way I want to be when I'm old and sitting around where people that I've mentored and helped, where they think enough about what I did for them to where they'll just call and check up on me. Do you need anything to eat, or come pick you up, take you for a ride? Because that's the life. That's what you want to be at the end. And he's there. And so can't go wrong. Now, Phil, not so much. People talk crazy about him, talk about how, because he probably was a butthole. He probably was the type of person who just was about winning games and the X's and O's. He had his players. His players write books about him. He write books about them. It will be no books about Pop. Pop will love by everybody. So I can see, like you said, an argument on both sides. But if I had to pick one, I'm going with the wide shoulder, bow-legged Phil Jackson, man. That was my guy.
I agree with you completely when it comes to this GOAT conversation, because like now everyone only talks about Jordan versus LeBron, but hey, don't forget about Kareem and Magic and them guys, because now their name don't get mentioned enough, and they deserve to be in that top elite most tier with Jordan, with LeBron. They're right there in that tier, and no one can tell me that Magic and Kareem don't belong in that tier with those guys.
Yeah.
So to me, I agree with you, man. Like GOAT conversations are not what it is, but arguing if a player deserves to be in this tier versus that tier, maybe that's a more healthy way to look at it. So more players get their shine. The more legends get their shine.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to throw it out there. And I'm not saying he's better than Popovich or Phil Jackson. Where's Steve Kerr on that list? 4 championships. He didn't he had Durant for 2
So
of
if
them.
I may, here's another thing in Popovich's, and before Swift, man, let me just say this. This is another thing for Popovich's argument, is that his coaching tree.
Yeah.
Now, Steve Kerr's directly part of his coaching tree player.
Yes,
and, the influence extends beyond just the players that he won championships with.
Yep.
There are other champions like the Milwaukee Bucks, like the Golden State Warriors, others directly influenced by Popovich and his principles, his leadership.
Yeah.
So, you got to look at the indirect stuff as much, sometimes as a strong element, as well as all the direct stuff.
Yeah. And that style of play is the Spurs style of play. That ball movement, that defense, that's Spurs basketball. So, yeah, you're right. Coaching tree.
Well, so again, because as people are talking about Jordan versus LeBron and throw on Kobe versus LeBron, whoever, I don't know if Steve Kerr really gets that kind of cred. And is it that far-fetched to think that Steve Kerr helped develop Steph Curry? Somebody had to lead that team to 4 championships and 6 finals appearances. So
I think Steve Kerr is a good. Sorry for cutting you off. I think Steve Kerr is a great step parent. I like me. He came in. He just put everything on autopilot. He didn't really. He allowed them to be themselves. They was already. I think Mark Jackson developed them, let them be themselves, and he just didn't mess with anything. But I think Pat Riley is better than Steve Kerr. To me personally. Yeah, Pat Riley is a dog, man.
How many championships did he win?
Yeah,
6.
5. think it's
Five. Sorry, 5. Yeah, 5.
He won
4
5.
with the Lakers. 4 with the Lakers. 1 with Miami.
Mm-hmm. Should
He was a
have
coach
had
in Miami.
more than that with the Knicks. If Jordan would have
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, guys, one guy who may not be in the Mount Rushmore of coaches is Mike Malone. It was quite a surprise, guys. It was quite a surprise. I mean, it was a 47-32 record, and there was less than a week to go in the regular season, and Denver parted ways with the man who led the Denver Nuggets to their first NBA championship, as well as general manager Calvin Booth. RC, how surprised were you in the Malone firing?
I like Mike Malone, but I don't think he fits in this era of coaching. Like Budenholzer just got fired again. Those guys, those rah-rah guys, those get-in-your-face guys, they're not going to make it in the NBA. These kids don't like that style of coaching. Everything sounds like a personal attack. It's just criticism. You know, great coaches, they love on you that way. You know, Malone seemed like he probably really got on them and got after them. And it, you know, these kids and these guys like to be catered to. And I think you earn that. Great players want to be coached, but the catering too, that happens after you win a couple championships. But I'm not surprised. I mean, you're gonna see more guys get fired who do good jobs because the player ran league. It's definitely not like the NFL. The players run the NBA.
Yeah, Swift. I mean, the first couple of reports that I heard was that Malone was currying favor to Russell Westbrook, and I caught an article on ESPN, and apparently it was a toxic environment, like RC was saying. But you know, before we get your comment, you have to think that Mike Malone was part of the reason in the evolution of Nikola Jokic. And here's a guy who's drafted, give or take, in the middle of the second round, and is what? 3-time MVP, won a championship, and how bad could he have been?
Right. I think, man, they don't give Mike Malone enough credit, man. Like they see him as, you know, as a hard coach that's gonna get on you, but he bring out the best in you, and that's what he did with Jokic and Murray. Who saw Murray turn into this, man? Like nobody really saw that coming. So they tell you that he was a great coach. He saw greatness in play, and he knew how to draw it out of him. I mean, it's just unfortunate that the GM and the players, everybody wants seeing eye to eye on how to coach or how to go about certain things, and it's kind of messed up on how it ended. And Mike Malone literally got them there, literally, and this is how they treat them. It just looks bad for Nuggets, even though they playing great right now. But it's kind of amazing how we look back ahead now, and these players, they playing harder. You know, it seemed like Westbrook has something to prove in these series. You know what I'm saying? So it just seems like that they kind of, I think a little bit of Mike Malone still reside inside of them. The resiliency of this team still lives within them. So it just, like I said, it still blows my mind that Mike Malone was fired just because of Booth. I think his name Calvin Booth. He saw he had a vision for the roster, and Mike Malone had a vision for this roster, and it's just kind of it's kind of ridiculous. They couldn't work it out to figure how to build this thing. I think Calvin Booth probably overstepped a little bit instead of letting Mike Malone just build this roster how he wanted to. I mean, he got him this far, got him championship. I mean, that's the least you can do. Like, hey man, I trust you that you know what you're doing with this roster. You know how these players play, and we're gonna get the right pieces in here. But instead, you know, people form alliances, you know, everything like that, and just went downhill from that because nobody could get on the same page. So unfortunately, Calvin Booth and Mike Malone was let go because of all the tension and the fighting and the bickering, the back and forth.
Yeah,
but,
no.
I'm about to say, we saw them even in the regular season. We were like, "What's wrong with this Nuggets team?" It, like they wasn't interested in playing. Like we saw a couple guys saying out. Even Jokic came out and questioned people a drive. You know, do they really want it? Like, why are y'all here? And it just is a whole bunch of nonsense. I feel like that they just overstepped the hand of firing him. They should just, let him do his thing and everybody just get in line. I mean, that's the only way I saw, going for him. But here we are.
Neel, I know that you wanted to chime in here, but I'm still of the opinion that Jokic was a Malone guy. I mean, but that being said, there's no way that ownership would have gone ahead with this firing if Jokic wasn't on board with it. Like I'm still confused on how this could happen, or should I be? Neel, you wanted to say something?
I just think that, yes, it seems like Booth and Malone really didn't like each other. They probably had very strong.
So why not just get rid of one of them? Like the
So
I would have got rid of Booth.
And I'm trying to remember, did Denver, the Nuggets themselves, the team, did they get bought by Josh Kroenke in the last few years? I'm trying to remember, because part of me wonders if Malone's been there for many years, the whole entire Jokic's entire career, Murray's entire career, he grew these guys up. Like you said, it was a great point. Jokic, what he became from a second rounder, pudgy doughboy, to still a pudgy doughboy, but an incredibly elite one. Some of that has to do with your head coach, and there's no one that can tell me otherwise, that you reach different levels of greatness beyond anyone's wildest expectations, and the head coach that you don't had the entire time don't have a huge part in that. You'll never convince me of that. And so I don't think Jokic believes that. He knows Malone's the guy, but sometimes, I feel like RC said, the coaches, these old school guys, with the when you burn heavier, you fizzle out sometimes faster. And I don't know if Malone necessarily fizzled out, but his command of the locker room perhaps could have. And I don't know if, sometimes, like you see in the NFL, a new owner buys a team, anything else that the previous owner, previous GM did, they're looking for any excuse to fire those guys and get their guy in, whether it's a quarterback, GM, coach. Whether or not that was a factor here, I don't know. We'll ever find out. But certainly, I feel like they did him dirty. And I don't think it's going to be very long until he finds a job. Whenever he really wants one, he's going to get one.
Yeah, because the word was that he favored Westbrook over younger guys. I mean, we playing for a championship, so Westbrook, don't act like he's washed. I mean, he still got a lot. He still got stuff to give. So I don't understand that. It seemed like a cop out of why they got rid of him. Like, oh, he was favoring Westbrook, and all the other guys on the team didn't like that and everything, because he was getting him more minutes. But that just seemed like so trivial when Westbrook coming off the bench was doing great things for him.
That's what I
thought too. Can I give you guys a quick Westbrook stat that I heard today?
Yeah.
I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Westbrook this year, man. Everyone loves Westbrook because he brings that dog. And he's one of those guys that really cares through all his faults. And some of those faults have prevented championships, I will say, in the past. But he no one has questioned his heart ever. And this is an amazing stat that I think validates Westbrook's place on the Nuggets, is that in the 8 games that the Nuggets have played in this playoffs, 8 games, all the minutes with the other 4 Denver starters, but Russell Westbrook instead of Michael Porter, there's 75 minutes over the 8 games that those 4 starters with Russ have played. That lineup is plus 42 in 75 minutes. Can you imagine that? Plus 42 in 75 minutes. That is unreal. And Russ is a huge part of that. You can see it the way he's playing, the way he's just the Energizer Bunny, and everyone's getting up when he's up there leading the charge in that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it don't seem plausible, because it seems like they like him. Like, they love Westbrook on the court. So it don't seem like they'll be against him getting more minutes, especially if he's doing so well for the second team anyway.
I think, man, and we're in a different era where guys don't like to be challenged. And Mike Malone is probably one of those coaches that'll get in your face. And he probably got in the wrong person's face. And it might not have been a player. It might have been a GM. It might have been owner. He pissed somebody off. I mean, he said the wrong thing to somebody, and This is what comes through. You got to think about this guy is the only guy you haven't won a championship. This was the guy that brought you the championship. You know, so he had to do something major. Like it had to be something really bad for him to be gone. Will that ever be disclosed? I doubt it. Because that might be why both of them got fired. Because it might have been a back and forth. It might have been a heated exchange, almost come to blows type stuff. So you can't fire one, you got to fire both. So yeah, but the Nuggets sure look like they, doing well without him. But I'm with you. He created that culture.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they're carrying his presence on the court. It's just how they play it. They physical, they hustle nonstop. Well, we saw Jokic have a great game yesterday. That was amazing. I'm like, there's no way that he put up those numbers. There's no way. Like you playing a video game.
Which I had a guy tell me this. He said, man, Joker's the best big man ever to play. I said, y'all are prisoners of the moment. I said, listen, I love Joker. But if you put Shaq in this era and you tell Shaq 2 nights out of the year, out of your season, you're gonna play a big man. That's it. Maybe 2 nights, maybe 3. Maybe 4 because you're gonna play him twice. Other than that, you got a free run to the rim. Shaq will have 60 points, man. Because there's nobody down there. There's nobody down there that want to physically bang with Shaquille O'Neal or Akeem Olajuwon or Patrick Ewing or any of those guys, man. Those David Robinson, they're not gonna want to bang with that. The Admiral could run and shoot. So, I love Joker, but if Joker had to see every night a guy that he knew he was gonna have to go against every night, it'll look a little different. But right now, Joker, like, you mean to tell me there's nobody in the series that they're playing in right now, who's the guy that's gonna stop Joker?
Well, yes, yeah. Last night I saw Joker get a rebound over 4 OKC players, and Jokic probably got this high off the ground to grab that rebound. He still grabbed it all over him. I'm like, yeah, they ain't gonna stop that.
Yeah.
He just
putting up crazy numbers, man. Crazy numbers.
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Nobody.
Incredible.
I'm with you, RC. And I'm not saying that the game today is better than it was at Shaq's era. But because Shaq is just an inside player, he doesn't have that outside game, the outside offensive game. Don't you think that's going to be a factor? Because I'm with you. I believe.
I was thinking about Orlando Shaq.
Oh, sure, please.
Yeah, I was thinking about Orlando Magic Shaq in this era.
I'll take either one. Either one. I'm gonna tell you why.
The one that can run up down the court with no effort. The skinnier one. Oh man, he'll be a problem. He's snagging everything. Guys, what we saw in the All-Star game with Jordan, he was dribbling. Like, okay, that he had the moves when he was with Orlando Magic. So I think that Shaq could be even scarier because he's nimble, he's slimmer, he can run up and down the court.
So I mean, me personally, I think Jokic has a very good chance to be better than Shaq all time. I love Shaq. Don't get me wrong. I love Shaq. I'm a huge Shaq fan. I respect his place in history. But this Jokic guy is so much more skilled than Shaq, in my opinion. He's the best passer in the league. There's an argument that he's the best passer in the league. There's an argument that, I mean, I don't know that Shaq's best season was better than Jokic's best season. I don't know. But maybe his one MVP season in 2000, possibly. But, Shaq was also a guy that didn't always care, man. He rested on his laurels, and he knew that he was the big body. He could dominate anytime, but he rested on that sometimes, and he did not look to grow all the time. Like, look at Jokic, man. This guy grows every single year. You don't think he is going to get better? You think it's impossible? Boom, he gets better. It's just been happening too many years that you can no longer say, because he's not, he's in his prime, but he's still got a lot of prime left. There is really a scary ceiling to what this guy can become when he's at his absolute peak, which maybe now, maybe in a couple of years, but I think there's a good chance that he'll end up all-time consensus greater than Shaq. I think there's a very good chance.
So I'm going to say this. I'm not a Shaq fan. I'm a Laker fan, but I'm not a Shaq fan. I think Shaq is a bully.
Really?
I think Shaq is a big bully. I think you're exactly right. He takes his elbow. and he uses his elbow as a bulldozer. And I didn't like that. But where I got to give him his props, his game developed. And in this era of basketball, here's a scary part of Shaq. There's a picture out there of the New Jersey Nets. There's Kenyon Martin, Aaron Williams, Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson, all of them in that picture getting dunked on by one man. So Joker, I saw Joker struggle with Dwight Howard. That one year, the last championship my Lakers won in 2020, Howard was guarding Joker. And that physicality bothered him because he was getting pushed off a spot. So I'm thinking Shaq, yeah, you got to guard Joker on that end. But Joker ain't just uber athletic. He going to be where he at. So Shaq, no, he going to be right there. You know, he guarding. He ain't going to cross Shaq up or any of that. But then when you go on the other end, it's going to be the problem because Shaq going to turn and it's going to be bulldozer and it's going to wear him down. See what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if they allow him to play the way Shaq played, no one wants that over and over and over and over and over, man. Like, it was just too. Joker's the better skilled player. Shaq's the most dominant player. Mm-hmm. I don't want to guard him. I don't want to physically take a beating all night for 2 points. You know, like, so.
Yeah, just ask Sabonis and Rick Smith.
But if you ask me who I
Rick Smith's still dizzy.
I would rather have Joker than Shaq because of what you said. You give Kobe Bryant Joker, he wins a lot of championships because he knows Joker's coming every year ready to play with Kobe. Shaq somewhere eating hamburgers and drinking Monty's, you know, just drinking as many beers. Like it's been known that Shaq is like, if you know the story of Andre the Giant, how much alcohol he can drink and how much food he can eat. Shaq is the same way. He was the same way, and he come in the season out of shape. You can see it on him. So I would take Joker, but I don't want to guard Shaq. I don't want to go with that.
Hey, that's a good poll question. You know, who's your greatest center of all time? Is it Jokic or Shaq? I think a lot of people are gonna lean Jokic, to be honest.
As well.
I think it depends on the age of the person voting. I mean, I think a lot of people. I mean, I saw this great. I saw this great Instagram reel. They asked teenagers and youngsters, and then they asked 30 and 40-year-olds who you think of with by saying Melo, and the kids thought LaMelo Ball, and the older guys thought Carmelo Anthony.
Anthony.
And
really, they thought LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, the kids
that's why they watching.
Well, you know what? Swift, how old's your son? How old's your son?
I have two of them. The youngest 12.
So I'm guessing that one of them, when they think Melo, I'm guessing they'll think LaMelo Ball.
Yeah. Coach,
If you say Melo, they don't definitely think LaMelo Ball.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess circling it back to Jokic versus Shaq. I mean, Shaq was just gifted with a massive body. And playing with Kobe Bryant. But here's a question for you guys. Are we going to see that dominant five once again? Between the, you think so? Because I think it's needed.
No. History always repeats itself, man. History repeats itself. It's coming, just like the fashion, Ben. Just like the Isley brothers and bell bottoms, halter tops. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it at some point.
I don't know. It just seems like the new coaches is all about getting up down the court more than anything. Okay, Lakers, for example, they even play that kid Hayes. They have a big man on it. Like, at least do something. Don't go small ball. Like, it seems like everybody just want to be small ball and want that five that can stretch the floor. So I think that's probably here to stay unless this kid just can dominate whoever come out of college or out of Europe or whoever you're gonna come from. He gonna have to really dominate for them to go back to that old playing style. It just seems like.
So what's gonna happen is you're gonna see an evolution of that. It's gonna come back, but it's gonna be something better than what you saw. He's gonna dominate the post, but if you leave him open on the perimeter, you're gonna be able to shoot it too. But his game gonna be dominant in the post. I'm gonna tell you a player that had an opportunity to do it, and he's doing it. Giannis. Giannis will rim run over and over and over and over. He's one of the few. You can throw it on the block, he'll face up, get to the basket. And then DeAndre Ayton a few years back, but Giannis took his soul, never to return. Yeah. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, before playing Giannis in that series, he was blocking shots and it looked like Hakeem Olajuwon. But after he got done with him, he looked like Dikembe Mutombo on offense. He didn't do anything on offense. So I think, to me personally, man, we will see it again because he's just like Anthony Edwards. Even though I love Michael Jordan, it's not that he plays like Michael Jordan. It's the attitude, the aggression, the way he talks trash. We're seeing it over again. I don't care if you're Barack Obama. I'm telling you, I'm the best in the world. That's what we. It's coming, bro. You'll see it.
Yeah. You also think about Wemby. I mean, how tall Wemby?
7'4", isn't he?
7'4", and all he do is shoot. Imagine Wemby put on a little bit of weight and turn his back to the basket. He would be able to score more, but for some reason, he want to take threes, man. He just want to take that three shot.
I know why. He's way too thin. He is way.
That's
too
what I'm saying.
thin.
He need to bulk up. If he put on some weight, but it doesn't matter if he's. The thing is, though, if he puts his back to the basket, I'm pretty sure he can score way more points. Cause the guys that guard him know way taller than him, so he can get the shot up easily. I mean, he don't got to back him down like Shaq, but at least get some post moves down there. And I believe he'll be unstoppable.
I think that's coming too. I think Swift, the San Antonio, this is all part of the plan for the Spurs. Look, they don't want to put miles on this kid early on. They want to see what he's made of. Can he go through the season playing minutes? Not necessarily hard-nosed in the post, back to the basket type minutes. So they want him shooting a lot, honing that outside shot, and then as he bulks up, get inside the post and really dominate at all levels. But I think it's part of the plan with them. And I think he's absolutely, health permitting, going to go down as an all-time great when it's all said and done. But, he to me is a special guy. He's kind of got a little bit of that Giannis, a little bit of that Jokic in him, a little bit of that Hakeem for sure in him. But, all these great centers, like you could even say to me, Wilt Chamberlain, look, he played in that era. We all know. Everyone downplays it a little because he was so much bigger than everybody else. But to me, Wilt is almost like a little bit of a combination between Shaq and Jokic. But he was all the way back in the 60s. He had the dominance of Shaq, but maybe not as good at dominating as Shaq quite. But he also had all that like facilitation game, floor running that Jokic has. Very smart player, but maybe not as good as Jokic in that element, but better in the other element. So he's like a fusion of those two greats in and of itself. Just like, you could say that for a lot of these great centers, that they're sort of a combination of two other greats at that position. And so, as RC was saying, history is always going to repeat itself. It just might be with a different A-B combination.
It's kind of like in history, we see animals, the evolution of animals. Like an alligator is way more skilled now than probably was X amount of years ago. Okay, so now what you see now, you didn't see later. So this evolution happens. I think Wemby is too tall. I'm beyond with you. I think the guy.
Absolutely.
I think he's too. You could be too tall. It's almost like in football, seeing the guy that's just too big that can't move. But this is the guy that's just too tall. And what's going to happen is, I don't think that body was made to just continue to go at that pace for a long period of time. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get dinged up. And if he gains weight, Ben, he's going to slow down a little bit and struggle with his back to the basket. I think he's a big guard trapped in that body. I think he's a guard trapped in that body. So, I had cracked a joke that said, what it would have been like for him to have to deal with Rasheed Wallace, or having to deal with Ben Wallace. That physical. Nah, bro. That's why I say the game is. You look at the players' bodies now. Just looks different. So but I say it'll happen again because you watch Detroit Pistons. They got a few players on there that look like 80s, 90s players. They got some big guys.
Yeah,
too. It's changing.
Well, taking a look at the stats here, Victor Wembanyama didn't average 11 rebounds a game, 24, just over 24 points a game, over 3.5 assists. And he is, where would his age be? What is he, 21? Can he buy booze in the US? But
he's pretty young. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say he averaged over 10 rebounds? How many rebounds did he average?
11 rebounds a game. He's averaging last year. Well, he only played 46 games, but he does seem to have it's a good point you bring up, RC. I mean, because I mean, take a look at all 7-footers in the NBA. You think of Yao Ming. Look at what Joel Embiid is going through now. I'm not sure if Greg Oden was 7 feet tall, but he barely scratched the surface.
Knee issues.
Kevin Durant. I mean, he had the 1 year where he blew out his Achilles, but he pretty much had a pretty healthy-ish career. That 1 year aside, I'm personally thinking that. What's that?
Bobo.
Bobo.
Look at Zach. Look at Zach Edey on Memphis, man. If this was the 2001 draft, he would be top overall pick with a bullet, and he would have actually, been a great player potentially. Today's in this era, his physical speed limitations, lack of footwork, and it really hurts him when all he got is a one-dimensional game.
That's why Taco Fall didn't really catch on.
That's coaching. That's coaching, man. That's coaching. I got a friend that played in the NBA. He was Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant. I know that's probably far-fetched. He actually is a mentor to Kevin Durant named DeMar Johnson. He was drafted to the Atlanta Falcons. He was drafted to the Atlanta Hawks and played at Cincinnati with Kenyon Martin. And he was the first 6'10" guy that was shooting from the perimeter and play that style. So got in a bad car accident, long story short, ended his career a little early. He played, but he lost some years of his career from the car accident. But I think about the way he played and looking at the way Durant played. I think the thing that saves Durant versus those other big guys is Durant is really a guard. He plays more guard-like. But Zach Edey, I feel sorry for him, man, because he's a dominant presence. And his coach, it's up to the coaches to let him be that. Let him play, coach. Put him in. I mean, Draymond is still playing. Draymond's still playing the way he played. Draymond plays 80s, 90s basketball in this era. He punks everybody. So,
yeah. Well, hey, no time like the present, fellas. Neel, a couple of upsets did take place in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Or are we ready to really call the Warriors beating the Rockets and the T-Wolves beating the Lakers an upset? That could be debated. What did stand out to you in the first round?
Well, to be honest, the biggest thing that stood out, as RC was kind of alluding to this, is actually how surprisingly great these playoffs have been so far. I'm very pleasantly surprised because I don't have, the greatest memories of the first round being riveting all the time. It's usually a bunch of throwaway series, and you usually get one or two good ones. And then the second round is really when things really begin. But, we had a lot of great things. I mean, we're talking about 2 Game 7s. Detroit, everyone, the up-and-coming Bad Boys 2.0 that's starting over there in Detroit, they're making New York sweat right to the end. I think Ant-Man really arrived as a superstar of a dominant level in this Lakers series with that 43-point game and just the swagger that he brings and taking out more legends as he may do in this next round as well to add to his sort of hit list. This Westbrook resurgence, man. And then even a little bit of mild, indirect Nico Harrison redemption here with this Lakers kind of choke down.
He was, he got drunk that night.
He's somewhere smiling, and Yeah. But I think all in all, the first round has been fantastic, and I just want to point out, like, last night, man, was, I gotta say, one of the best nights of basketball I've ever seen. When you talk about two epic comebacks, two gritty games, like excellent matchups. You got the two MVP candidates in one, and you got the classic matchup, New York, Boston in the other. These guys down 20 in the third, come back, roaring back. OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, all of their starters played well in that comeback. And then just the young Thunder, the dominant guys of the regular season, not handling the moment like the champions that the Denver Nuggets were and still seem to be, because the way they came back in that, that's championship material right there. And sometimes you don't believe it till you see it, and I saw it last night. And I'm really happy that the New York-Boston series will end up being better than I thought it would be, because I was thinking it could be like a 4-1 gentleman's sweep. It seems like maybe New York got an extra level and that was a big confidence win for them. So I'm loving these playoffs so far, and I would say that it's off to one of the better starts in recent years thus far.
Hey, let me interject real quick. So I just looked at the score of the Pacers and Cavaliers. The Pacers beat the Cavs 120-119. They said Halliburton scored a last second game winning 3. What the crap is going on?
Cleveland being
Cleveland
without LeBron James.
Man,
RC, you're not buying Cleveland, huh?
Yeah,
well,
they remind me.
Dominic Mitchell.
Their regular season. That's what happened when you win all those games in the regular season. I mean, it's like when you get to the playoffs and you expect it. I don't think they're used to being in the position that they're in. Like, hey, have a bullseye on us. Boston is not being talked about as much as Cleveland was being talked about throughout the season. So Indiana reminding us, hey, that's why you play the game. And I'm surprised. What you just said, Ben, I'm surprised I actually looked at that. That's shocking. Like,
that is shocking.
That is shocking, because they were up by 18 points in the third quarter or something like that.
They were defending well.
So what y'all? So with the Pacers leading the series 2-0, do this say something about Dominic Mitchell? Because a lot of people was bashing him when he was with the Jazz, like, he can't get over the hump. He ain't that type of star to pull his team through. And now he's on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they supposed to be the best team in the East, one of the best team in the East, and now they looking in the series 0-2.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. He dropped 48 points tonight.
Yeah,
I don't know. You can call out Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't think it's him. I think basketball, man, just like football, we lose together. We win together, we lose together. I don't put it on one player. 48 points. What more could he have done?
Yeah, and they were missing Mobley and Garland, and when you're missing 2 of your 3 best players. Yeah, it's tough on anyone, man.
48, you got to win.
So you got to win.
Yeah, especially if they're missing, to your point, Neel.
Mobley. Well, right now I got a score update. The Warriors are beating the Timberwolves 36-22.
Oh, wow. That is impressive as well.
Yes, I thought they'll be a lot closer.
Lots of game left
going away. Yeah, it's still second quarter with 6 minutes left.
What finals? I'm gonna ask Swift and RC and you as well, Randy. What would your ideal NBA finals be this year, if you had to just pick a matchup?
Hey man, give me the Warriors. Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no. No, finish your thought, RC.
Give me the Warriors and the Celtics again.
Oh, okay.
Give me the Warriors trying to do something they haven't. Like, this is the last hoorah. I think this is the last championship that they'll get. But give me that Jimmy Butler. You know what he said last year? If he'd have played against the Celtics, what he would have did. Give me Draymond Green, big loud mouth. Give me Steph Curry shimmying, and then give me Boston what they have. But I think New York going to have a say-so in it too. But give me it. I'll take the rematch, or give me Ant versus Boston. Because either or, I'll take either or.
Yeah, I was gonna go with they'll be the best series. OKC versus Celtics. I think they'll be the best series. But if you want ratings, Timberwolves versus Celtics, and going at Jaylen Brown and Tatum, you talking about a lot of trash talking? Yeah, they're gonna be some there, especially with Brown.
Well, how about you, Randy?
Yeah, you know what? I love Steph. I don't want to see the Warriors there again, and I don't like the Celtics. So yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased, I guess, obviously with Shea, Lou Dort, Oklahoma City, but you know what? That team is just such a unit. The cohesion, and RC, as you were saying about Cleveland. When I'm done, I'd love to get your thoughts on OKC, because you're saying all the winning in the regular season is the same thing going to happen with OKC. But I I think getting the Knicks to the finals would be
Yes.
terrific.
Yeah.
I mean,
Then they fall flat on their face.
when was the last time New York's been in 2000? 1999?
1998, 9 to Spurs.
Yeah.
Pop's
Spurs,
first
yeah,
championship
Spurs,
was against him. Yep.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and but it's a
O.J.
toss-up
Simpson.
because
Wild speed. Was it O.J. Simpson? The O.J. Simpson?
No, that was in '94 when they lost to the Rockets. That was game
Okay.
7.
yeah, good call.
And in '99
Look at
they had
Neel
Marcus
with the
Camby,
knowledge.
Marcus Camby, and Allen Houston, Sprewell.
Yeah,
Love
I
that.
remember that. Yeah.
Man, how you
Yeah.
keep all that up there, Neil?
Huh?
How you keep all that up there?
I sacrifice a lot of other information for this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Neil, so you can just so you can drop it on
Right.
just like that.
Right.
Yeah,
So you got to throw
yeah.
other stuff out. Well, I need to clean mine out.
Well,
Mine
right quick,
cluttered.
I think my choice would be Denver versus New York, and the reason I say that, the number one reason, is because both teams are starter heavy, and I would just love to see those starting lineups go at it and play like 45 minutes, all of them. That would just be amazing to me. Denver, New York, I would love that series.
The Knicks would be good for the NBA being there.
Absolutely, I agree.
Great story.
But you know what? You know what, RC, though? Here's my question. What if it was Knicks, Timberwolves, let alone OKC, if pick either between Minnesota or OKC, and New York goes on a heater, right? You have the glitz and glamour of Broadway versus small town Oklahoma City, and I mean, I guess Minneapolis is a mid-major U.S. city, but it's not the glitz and glamour of Miami or Los Angeles. What if Anthony Edwards stays his entire career in Minnesota? I mean, I just don't know if I bought. Like, I know that on the surface, I mean, take a look at the past World Series. You had the Dodgers and the Yankees, and I get it. Legacy franchises are legacy franchises, but I want to see the small market teams. I want to see Indiana in the finals. I want to see Cleveland back in there. Like, I know I just threw a lot at you, but I mean, Neil, to answer your original question, I want to see the Knicks for sure, and it's a toss-up. I think I'd like to see Oklahoma City, just because the smaller the franchise, the more hope I personally have. Because look at San Antonio. How many San Antonio Spurs fans are all over the U.S., let alone in Canada? And San Antonio is one of the smallest NBA cities.
But that's where the NFL gets it right. The NFL gets it right. Kansas City, the parity in the National Football League. Before Kansas City wins that Super Bowl, it was the Patriots. It's considered a small market. But then I think that is. But then you go to freaking Kansas City, who hadn't won a Super Bowl in 50 years, and they win and they can't stop winning. And all these Chiefs fans are born. I think if Minnesota can get to the finals and win one, that'll be great for sports. I'm all for parity. I'm a Laker fan, 16-time champion. I think it's 16. I'm gonna stop counting. It don't matter. It don't matter as much no more. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The Lakers and the Celtics have all the rings in that league. Something has to change. You got one, I think, has 18, one has 17. Like, that's all the rings, bro. If Jordan don't come in and do anything, and Miami don't sprinkle in there sometimes, and San Antonio, the Lakers and the Celtics have all the rings. So I'm with you. You got to get a Minnesota and OKC, or it'll just be great. It'll be great.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, great question, Neil. Speaking of those Lakers, RC, I mean, obviously there was I don't know if I had seen as much criticism as we all saw with Nico Harrison with the trading of Luka Doncic, but the Lakers did bow out early. Luka, from what I saw, had a pretty impressive stat line throughout that Minnesota series. I caught that he was over 30 points a game. He was 45% from the field. His assist average was down, but grabbed 7 boards. I mean, you and Swift were, I guess, closer to seeing the action, and you had a little bit of skin in the Lakers doing well. Like, was the criticism towards Luka justified? And were you surprised that they bowed out in 5 to Minnesota?
I'm not a Luka fan.
Okay.
Guy convinced me last year before the series started against Boston. I was trying to big Luka up because of the performance he had put on against, I think it was the Timberwolves they put out. He was trying. I was on the Luka bandwagon. He said, "Man, he's not disciplined enough. He doesn't play defense, and he loves arguing with the refs." I'm like, they all do. Until he gets on my team, I didn't know how severe it is, to the point to where we're running back on defense, and he's still down there on, complaining about a foul he didn't get. And another thing about him that I don't like is, bro, listen, that sports have ebb and flows, and you're gonna have points in a game where you're gonna have adversity. It's just not gonna go perfect all the time. You can't have 2 of them on your team. You can't have LeBron on the floor laying down acting like he got hit in the head by somebody threw something out of the stand. He slipped on it. And then you can't have Luka doing the same. Luka's arguing with the ref, and LeBron's on the floor peeping through his hand to see if he. It's a circus, man. It's beyond basketball. So the criticism is warranted. And I think Nico took that on the chin, knowing my issue with Luka is bigger than basketball. It's bigger. It's something deeper there. And I think Laker fans are starting to see it. Like, man, yeah. Is it hard to score 30 points in the NBA? For me, it would be. But for those guys, that's all they do for a living. But when you really look at what Anthony Edwards is able to do on both sides of the ball, Luka can't defend you. None of us on the panel right here. Give us about a few months to train. Let us be able to work on our games, and we can score on Luka. Luka don't defend nobody. He don't want to defend anybody, and that's the problem with Luka. The official,
but I mean, I think to your point though is that I personally will be shocked if Luka Doncic doesn't make an All-Star game, and he makes 3 or 4 more All-Star games. I mean, I think he's going to be a lock for the Hall of Fame.
He's already a lock.
He's for the Hall of Fame already.
He's already a lock right now. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
Yeah, I believe it.
It don't take much to get into the NBA Hall of Fame, brother.
Right, it don't take that.
But I mean,
every other 5-time all first team player is in the Hall of Fame already.
Yeah.
But my opinion on it, just to quickly throw something in here, my opinion on it is that we don't speak enough about defense when we talk about greatness, because like you said, it's easier to score 30 points when you sacrifice the other end and your team has to cover and mask everything for you. This is the James Harden syndrome all over again.
Yes.
James Harden and many other great offensive players that didn't bring it on the other end. And that's why you look at Jordan versus LeBron even as that type of GOAT conversation, whatever. But Jordan's a way better defender than LeBron ever has been. And that is a big, big factor. So just wanted to throw that piece out there, because Luka will never be a great defender, but he can be in better shape and he can be a championship player.
I don't know. When I watch Luka play, it just feels like it's more to be desired.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. It feel like empty calories. To me, it just feel like empty calories, because it just go with his lack of defense, his crying 24/7. And like you said, RC, I didn't know how big it was till he came to the Lakers. I started watching him play. Like, dang, this dude, somebody just barely grazed his arm. He's like,
yeah,
like, bro, go play ball.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get every call, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you can take him at his game, especially if he don't start getting his calls, his shot don't start falling, and you slowly see him start slipping away. He might come back and shoot a 3 and make it, but you slowly start taking him out the game. That's what happened in the series. He just, I'm not gonna say he gave up, but it just seemed like I'm ready to pack it in and go home, because I not like how this going. So it just, I was gonna buy a Luka jersey, but I changed my mind. I think I'm just spend my money elsewhere on something.
I have a metric which I grade great players by. people have been like, can LeBron, who's better, LeBron or Jordan? I say, who can guard who? If you can't guard me, there's no way you better than me. Kawhi Leonard can guard Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Prime Kawhi Leonard can guard anybody, and he can go score. That's the metric. That's how I grade my greatest of all time or great players. Can your best player score 37, then turn around and guard my best player? And that's what Luka don't have. He don't need to be an elite defender, but bro, you gotta pinch somebody. Like you got to at least put your hand up to try to stop a guy. It's the same way with James Harden. James Harden has no desire to defend. And so, yeah, that's my thing. I think Nico caught a lot of flack because Luka's a cultural icon, basically. They love him in Dallas. But in LA, it's a different. I think Luka understands this too. You're going to be graded differently in Los Angeles. Like, you're not bigger than Los Angeles now. So, you ain't in Dallas, Dorothy. Like,
yeah, Luka, he gonna see a lot of this in LA, and that's what he gotta live up to.
yeah,
So it's just like if we're not seeing that Mamba mentality, then yeah, we're gonna be looking at you sideways. And that's why people look at LeBron sideways, because he like some games he had Mamba mentality, and some games you like, who is this guy? Like, does he even know how to play basketball? So it just it's just weird, man. Luka gotta bring it, man. He gotta get off that childish stuff and crying all the time and just lace up and play ball, like they say, play ball.
And LeBron needs to retire.
Right. Oh, cause what was that stat? RC, he was shooting for 3. It was a 4-quarter. He was like 0 for 10 or something. It was something crazy. I was like, yeah, it's time for you to head to the house.
Yeah. Well, we are going to talk about Luka towards the end of the show. But Swift, no time like the present. I mean, you're talking about James Harden. You're talking about Luka Doncic, and both the Lakers and the Clippers are out in the first round. It has been a big struggle for the LA Clippers over the past, since Kawhi got to LA, and even obviously the years before that. In terms of overhaul, in terms of major changes happening, who do you think has more work to do? The LA Clippers or the LA Lakers?
Definitely the Clippers. Because as we saw, Kawhi, he missed half of the season to show up. This team cannot get past the first round. They got 2 aging vets in Kawhi and Harden. They need to get younger. As you saw, their offense, it be on it sometimes, then stall. So it tells me that they need a true superstar. And Kawhi, he would be able to fit that superstar better, if they had just a main guy. But they just need to get younger. They need to beef up the bench in order to get past this first round blues they keep having. So I feel like they need a little bit more of an overhaul since they're aging. They need to get younger and better.
I'd love to leave the floor open to talk about this a little further, because right now I'm really shaking my head. I'm really scratching my head. I have no idea where to go with this, because LeBron's 40. His contract's up at the end of the 26th season. Luka, he's going to be around until the end of the 27 season. But from there, who do you have? You have Rui Hachimura, whatever Austin Reeves is, the Clippers. Harden's going to be – sorry?
I said Dalton Connect. Somebody unused.
But I mean, James Harden, he's 35. You have Norman Powell. I mean, to me, he seems to be more of a sixth guy, first guy off the bench. Zubac is most improved. Neel, RC, what do you guys think?
Me personally, man, I agree with Swift on this, that the Lakers are more ready to win next year than the Clippers. I got no faith in the Clippers. I picked the Clippers to beat Denver. Okay, I got in my Kawhi love, my Kawhi reverence from winning a championship for us, man. He's still one of my top favorite players of all time and always will be because of that. I love him, but he didn't look as dominant as he has in years past. He needed James Harden, and unfortunately, when you need James Harden these days, you're not in a good position. Even though they had Zubac, who's just become an elite center in the league, they had a good supporting cast. They got an elite coach. It's sad. It's sad that they laid down like they did in Game 7. Like, to lose a Game 7 if it was a nail biter and both teams clawed hard right to the end and it, one shot here, one shot there. That didn't happen. It was a complete and utter dismantling by Denver. The real guys with championship medal. LA got nothing close to that. But the Lakers, you get Luka, the whole dynamic of the team changes. He's out of shape. He's depressed maybe a little bit that he got traded away. All of this sort of stuff can come into play. LA can do things to get a solid big man. Luka can get in shape. There is a scenario where they become elite again and possibly even go to the Western Conference Finals. I don't know about that, but Western Conference Finals, possible. I don't see nothing good with the Clippers. And I think Harden, despite the fact that he might make All-NBA third team, just the man just don't got it anymore in the playoffs, and I don't think he cares as much as he needs to.
I think, man, it's a great point, Neel. When I think about the Lakers and the Clippers, maybe they should combine. I mean, because they have the same issues, but because if you look at Kawhi, I think, guys, we've seen the best of Kawhi Leonard. He can't play in the regular season no more. He only can play in the playoffs. And when he sparingly show you the old Kawhi. I love Kawhi just as much as you do, Neel, because to me, I think Kawhi is a very unappreciated athlete. What he accomplished in Toronto will never be done again. What Giannis did in Milwaukee will never be done again. So those guys are up there for me. But when you look at the Clippers and the Lakers, they mirror images of each other. Ty Lue is a great coach, but the other guy can coach, but he's full of himself, JJ. So that's Ty Lue may be wearing out his welcome, and JJ might just be going to wear on his players for long because he's just so adamant about being the smartest in the room. Then, as far as the way the teams are constructed, veteran-led teams, they have young pieces, but the difference is LeBron James. I know he's 40 years old. I know I'm saying he needs to retire, but hey, bro, LeBron's the best Laker on that team. Like, at 40 years old, he's the best player on that team. And if I'm the best player on the team, why not keep playing? I mean, that lets you know the state of the NBA, where a 40-year-old guy can be that dominant. But the only problem LeBron has now is the secret is out. You can't defend no more at a high level. You can't play 40 minutes no more. It's over. That's done. And so if I had to say who had a better chance of winning now, it would be the Lakers, but I think they're way away from winning a championship because the Lakers don't never have enough of what they need. They could have Giannis, Luka, and LeBron will still say, "I need something." It's like an ungrateful ass woman. I hate to say it like that, but it's like a woman. It's like I done gave you got 2 rings, 2 cars, 3 houses, and you saying this ain't enough. And so when he says we need a center, bro, you got 2 centers on your team. You got to play them. Like, he's right. The most needy athlete in history. He always needs something. So, yeah, I would go Lakers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe Luka might, if he sticks around, if he hits the treadmill a little bit stronger. I think that
he need to do some agility drills or something. He can't move laterally or something.
But let's say that does he not have the same body composition of Nikola Jokic?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's never going to be small.
His problem is he don't have quick feet. He barely move his feet. That's the problem. So he need to do some drills or something in order to get his agility ability up, because he's standing in the mud.
Oh, absolutely. And he doesn't have the mindset that Jokic has. He doesn't have Luka's a great player, man, but he doesn't have the basketball IQ or the mind that Jokic has. Jokic is a next level master. Luka is a great player, but he doesn't just have that extra thing that creates a true legend. Not yet.
Are we saying, Neel, are we saying that this time last year when Dallas was in the finals?
No, it's hard to say.
So what's the difference?
The difference is that
He got traded.
He
I
had
think that's the
Kyrie.
difference.
Well, I
mean,
think that Dallas team was very supportive of him, and it was built around him. So he had Kyrie. Kyrie's a good leader, so it's not like he had to do much of.
I don't know about
anything.
that. Swift, Kyrie, a leader.
Yeah, Kyrie. Kyrie now is wiser. He's older now,
In
so
Dallas.
I feel like in Dallas. So I think he's a different man in Dallas compared to the rest of the teams he played with.
Yeah.
So, but that begs the question: like, are we 100% sure that Luka signed this extension with the Lakers?
I think he will.
Because him and he loved Jokic. That's like his long lost brother.
Are you saying
how much
Luka
would you have to do to get Luka to go to the Nuggets? Like, what would you have to do? What would that look like?
I don't think it would be good, man. I do not think that as much as but one thing is that I don't know that Luka's usage, his lack of defense, I don't think that Jokic is going to like that too much. And you're taking the ball out of Jokic's hands, even though it's going into Luka's hands. I don't see Luka as the type of player that would serve Jokic the best.
Joker would have to come to LA. I'm agreeing with you, Neel. I don't see where it works because the quarterback of that team is Jamal Murray. So that means you're gonna trade the Lakers Jamal Murray for Luka. That's the only way you can do it because then Luka has to play the Jamal Murray role, but Jamal Murray is more athletic and he's a big, he defends.
I'll tell you a much better pairing would be Luka and Giannis. Now that I'd get up for. And that is a perfect Giannis don't need the ball all the time, but he needs the lobs.
And that's a possibility there.
Primary scorer that he doesn't have to be because Giannis is that two-way guy, just like Kawhi, just like RC was saying. And he covers up for a lot of Luka's weaknesses and vice versa. But I don't see the same kind of synergy with Jokic and Luka together.
I have a problem with you having in the NBA. Sorry.
No, please.
I have a problem in the NBA. You got to cover for me. You gotta cover for me. I'm that big. Go look at Luka when he first came into the league. He was in shape. He looked like a totally different man. Now, I know New Orleans is known for great food, but I've been to Fort Worth. I've been out in Dallas. What the hell they will feed him? He must have been. He looks like a lab rat now. He went over there, drank enough beer, ate enough food, and then he came out. It's like, dude, you having the mask and cover for me? I don't like that. I'm a star player. Never.
He got used to American culture.
Yeah. Chicken on the stick.
We like to eat.
hey, Ben, chicken on the stick out there in Texas. I thought about it.
Hey, deep fried donuts.
You shouldn't be in any sort of GOAT conversation in some ways if you weren't consistently the best offensive and defensive player on your teams.
For sure.
I agree.
For sure.
I can't wait till I get to New Orleans end of July because I remember those restaurants that I hit when I was there a couple years ago. They got some serious,
yeah. Make sure you bring some pants that span some because
the stretchy pants.
What's the worst food city in the NBA? Because that's where Zion needs to get traded to.
Yep. What, Utah?
Utah.
Zion become a Hall of Famer in
Utah. Send him to Utah. A lot of things gonna change for you, buddy.
Right.
He's gonna become Karl Malone 2.0 in Utah.
Yeah.
Yes,
for sure.
Hey,
straighten him right out.
No moments don't play. Look at BYU. Look at some players that play at BYU.
Turkey and rice every day.
For sure.
Well, guys, I don't know what the cuisine is like in Cleveland, Ohio, but that is where Shedeur Sanders is going to be headed to. As you guys know on the panel, I'm not the biggest NFL football guy at all, and I am even way less when it comes to NCAA. But the talk was about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter as well. He goes to Jacksonville. I apologize, having a brain cramp here. But a lot of people were thinking that Shedeur Sanders was going to be a top pick in this year's draft, and he goes all the way to the 5th round. And RC, How much of a shock was that for Shedeur Sanders to drop as far as he did? And how would you rate his time in Colorado?
I think I'm gonna answer the second part first.
Please.
Time in Colorado and Jackson State, kid got better every year. When he got to Jackson State, he wasn't, the best quarterback, and he just worked his tail off and got better. And then he went to Colorado and he elevated the program. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to elevate programs, and he was able to do that with his father. I think the issue that Shedeur has is having a daddy that, they tell, black men in America, one of the biggest issues not having your dad. Most of you guys don't have your dad in your life, and then this guy has his dad in his life. Now his dad doing too much. They're saying his dad's doing too much, but I love the relationship. My father was in my life, so I love the relationship for him. Having, someone that guide, the person that guides you be your actual dad, and who was already walked those steps. But I was shocked about the slide. They made it too personal. But I do believe that the Sanders handled the situation wrong by, saying things early, a year ahead of time. Saying what he was going to do and what he wasn't going to do. You can't do that with the National Football League. It's not the NBA. So he set his son up for failure. And I think he knew that. He actually made a comment about, he said to God, out loud, he was like, take my children off the cross and put me on there. And so that's basically admitting fault for something. But I think the punishment, the actual punishment didn't fit the crime. And they didn't warrant the crime. Like, he probably went in those interviews with the Giants and did a bit much, but come on, man. I think the NFL made a mockery of it. Those GMs, not all of them. And then when they realized where it was going, the NFL made money off of it. So it all worked in the NFL favor, and Shedeur's going to be fine. I mean, got an opportunity to elevate another program. But I did not like the slide. But, hey, things happen.
Do you think the interview process? You were talking about the interview process, maybe comments that Deion said and so on. But I mean, we've seen it all in sports. Like, star athlete A is a problem in city B. Come to my team, I can fix him up and so on. I mean, this is a kid. This is a project. This is a, I can mold him into be the man that could lead my team to the Super Bowl and so on. There's got to be more. And of course, I'm asking the question. It's not that I know. Like, there's got to be more to him dropping as far as he did. I mean, like, how many quarterbacks were taken before Shedeur? We got Cam Ward, Jackson Dart. Yeah.
4 or 5.
Dylan, Gabriel. Yeah.
So, and
yeah.
Slowski.
It's a shock.
Yep.
Yeah. But, well, Neel, question over to you. Like, do you follow college football? You do. So what were your thoughts on Sanders? I mean, Cam Ward, as I understand, was projected to be the first overall pick. I mean, that, from what I understand, wasn't much of a surprise. And did Shedeur stand out? I mean, did he have an impressive year? Are you as surprised as RC that he dropped as far as he did? And I mean, compared to these other guys here, Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel, were these guys on your radar as well?
I know of them, but I didn't really know their place in the draft hierarchy. I knew that Shedeur's slide was epic and really unbelievable, because I actually thought, from what I saw from him, and mostly I will say Colorado games, I didn't tune in for too many Colorado games, but I did see a lot of highlights because they were primetime box office. They were always showing highlights. And, Shedeur, man, a lot of these highly touted college quarterbacks coming into the draft, they go to these powerhouse programs, Alabama, LSU, this type of thing. But they're usually on teams that dominate, maybe lose 1 or 2 games a year. A lot of them are. I think Shedeur, it'll serve him well that, during his time, Jackson State and Colorado, he didn't win. He kept winning more and more, but it's not like he was in some powerhouse program. He and his father, like RC said, along with Travis Hunter, they really elevated that program. And I saw this guy, come back from behind, put up lots of points, be in moments where he had to make something happen out of nothing and throw Hail Mary touchdowns to win the game. I've seen it all from him. So if you can just harness what you've already seen him do on some occasions, despite what some say his physical limitations, his arm strength, things like that, those are all things that can become better to a degree. But I think what he has the it factor to me to tell me that he has a chance to do something in the NFL. And I think he landed in a pretty good spot because even though Cleveland's known as a dumpster fire mostly, I think that reputation, it took a huge hit by the fact that they really, really boggled the Deshaun Watson whole fiasco. And, I thought when Jameis Winston took over for Cleveland, they were actually one of the more fun teams to watch last year. I really enjoyed watching their team, and they battled.
Was it not because of the sideshow that was Jameis's comments, in the press conference? I'm asking a question.
No. It's because Jameis is just a mistake-prone quarterback, but he had, it was a lot of fun, and I think Shedeur has a chance to really become something for that team. I hope he does. It'll be good for the NFL.
Joe Flacco's still there, right?
Yeah, and so that could be potentially a nice mentor for him, but I don't think Joe Flacco's playing days are too much left.
Sure, yeah, but in terms of that mentor, maybe Joe Flacco could teach Shedeur a couple of things.
For sure.
Yeah. Swift, finally to you. Do you think Deion was the problem that got Shedeur dropping as far as he did? Do you think we're going to hear a lot about Deion's comments regarding his boy during Shedeur's time in NFL?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it was more on Deion than Shedeur because we have seen confident quarterbacks come through the draft. We saw what Cam Newton, Jameis Winston. So we've seen guys who wear their bolters on their sleeve. I think there was more Deion doing. I think he talked too much and he demanded way too much. I mean, you in NFL, you just can't come with demands. I know a lot of people use the Eli Manning scenario. Archie didn't present that until the draft, closer up to the draft. Deion stayed this 2 years out. He was stating it. How you know your son going to the draft in the first place? Let's get to the moment first. Deion was coming out with a list of names my son ain't gonna play for that sorry team. And on Twitter he tweeted he definitely not going to the Browns. We don't want to play for the Browns. He tweeted that 2 years ago. And NFL said, okay, watch this. Hey, Browns, go ahead and take him right here. So it just I think it was more on Deion than Shedeur. Because Shedeur is a good kid. He talks, he talked about his faith, he talked about his relationship with his teammates. He always looking out for others. He speaks highly of people. So it just stumped to high heaven when he did slide, and I felt bad for him because I knew it wasn't all on him. There was a collective of things, and maybe it's true. Maybe he didn't do well in the interview process. We've seen a lot of guys not do well on the Wonderlic tests and interviews, but they still get taken anyway. What they say about Lamar, he scored this on the Wonderlic. Oh, he's gonna fall. No, we don't want him. But at the end of the day, GMs know what's real and not real per se.
Right.
And there was only two quarterbacks in this entire draft that we knew for sure could be franchise quarterbacks. That was Cam Ward and Shedeur. So, like I said, it just boiled down to people just talking too much. Deion was the agent. So, like I said, I feel like they didn't want all that turmoil going on in the draft. And here we are now talking about it because of what things that could have been said or have been said or could have been done. And that's a lesson to everybody, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Let the process happen. Then, if you got demands, come out with demands.
Yeah, and can I just add that, look, this slide may actually end up being a blessing in disguise for Shedeur, because if he does become the starter, look, they got an elite offensive lineman in the first round instead of him. They could have taken him. but instead they took an elite offensive lineman. How much, if Shedeur becomes a starter, is Mason Graham going to absolutely help him reach a higher level than he would have without Mason Graham, a top 5 pick offensive lineman? I think was he.
I think he's a D tackle.
Oh my God, no, yeah, my mistake. He is a defensive.
Yeah, from Michigan.
Okay, well, hey, pair him
That's
with
what helps out.
Miles
That
Garrett,
D-line.
and you got a defense that can cover up for Shedeur's.
Yeah, that defense can cover up a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Browns, they addressed it. I didn't watch their tie drive, but I'm sure they addressed it, some of their O-line problems. And some people say the O-line problem was due to Deshaun Watson holding on to the football too long.
Oh, for sure.
So it could have been a mixture of things, but I'm pretty sure the Browns, got players to fill some voids there.
Yeah, so
that's a good spot for them.
Oh, for sure. So they got a better defensive line. They got hometown, or at least home Ohio State, Quinshon Judkins, who balled out in the whole FBS or bowl, college championship. And so in the end, you look at it at a positive note. And I know Deion and Shedeur are doing that. He handled that prank call thing very well as well. I thought very, very mature,
very distasteful.
And he handled it well, just didn't let it bother him too much. So that's also showing that maybe he has a bit of a unfazable mindset, really, and that'll serve him well in the NFL. I can tell you if he does have.
Well, I was going to bring up one topic, but now that you brought up the prank cell phone call, maybe we could get back to the one original question I was going to ask you guys, but I'm blown away about how some kid, I don't care, your father's a defensive coach for whatever it was, the Falcons or whoever it was,
Falcons.
but yeah,
I mean,
says the Saints fan, but I mean, do you ever see that coach getting another chance? And I mean, there should be some serious consequences, shouldn't there? Now, the only reason why I'm saying this is because privacy is what it is. There's no way that somebody's personal information should be just left out. Like, forget about this guy's son, the defensive coach's son. What if it was one of his friends? What if it was one of his classmates? What if instead of Shedeur Sanders, it was Patrick Mahomes' cell phone number? I mean, I think that there is a really massive problem here. And I mean, if I was any NFL team, I wouldn't give this coach the time of day. I don't know if you guys think this is unfair or not, but I felt really bad for Shedeur.
Oh, for sure. I felt bad too. I don't think you can. I mean, yeah, it's really a dumb thing to leave those things out on your laptop or wherever it was. But I don't know that you could blame Jeff Ulbrich any more than that. I mean, maybe he didn't know how much of a knucklehead his son really is to do that sort of thing. Maybe he never anticipated. But the other thing is that it wasn't Shedeur's personal cell phone. It was a special draft number that is just for the purposes of the draft. That's my understanding of it. And that information was out there for all the teams to be able to contact these players when they want to talk to them. It's not all their personal cell phone numbers that are getting blown up by every other family member and friend out there. So yes, it was a privileged piece of information, but it wasn't his personal line. And that's a little bit of a difference, but still the privacy is breach is just terrible. And it's ironic because the Falcons are the organization that did it. And one of the great all-time players for them is Shedeur's father.
Right. It's kind of ironic, ain't it?
Yeah, very true. I never saw that link.
Yeah, I think it was on a tablet, right? It was on a laptop or a tablet. Could be, to be honest, it could be in his study. His son could, unlock his study, broke into his study, and got the number off the tablet. I'm pretty sure he just didn't have his tablet or whatever laying on the coffee table with wide open, unlocked. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure his son probably did some hacking or some sort to get that type of information. So I wouldn't put too much on because kids do stupid things. It don't matter how you raise them or you tell them right from wrong. They're going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. And that's what his son did. He did what he wanted to do. He thought it was going to be hilarious with his boys. He was with his boys, so his boys, You know how it is when you get around your boys, do start doing some crazy stuff. So they did find him a good chunk, and they find the team a good chunk. So I think people learn that lesson and all this. Just put it away or hide it, or put it in a safe or something. I don't know. Make sure it's secured.
Oh man, I just saw that Steph Curry is out for the game with a hamstring strain. And Golden State is up by 20 right now, so maybe they're going to be good today. But if that is lingering, that is not going to be good for them.
Yeah, I had a hamstring injury one time. Man, that thing lasted for about 2 or 3 months. It was terrible. It was terrible.
No kidding. Yeah, and I mean, like, I guess the power of training and medication. Like, sometimes these guys could be up and at it in a week. Yeah, maybe. I'm worried about my goaltender for the Maple Leafs. He got a concussion. He was throwing up, and at the in the end, he was stretchered off to the hospital. And he's been really unfortunate stuff. Anthony Stolarz is his name, and hopefully, and I mean, hey, my Leafs are in tough. They're playing the defending Stanley Cup champions, so yeah. Yeah, some scary times.
Tough task.
Yeah, tough task ahead. But guys, what's ahead is straight facts, bro. Relax. It is the final segment of tonight. Straight facts, bro. Relax. We are going to start with Neel, and of course, I don't know what if you would classify Kawhi Leonard's time in Toronto as it feels like yesterday or it feels like a decade ago, but it has. He of course has been with the LA Clippers since the 1920 season, and things aren't really too rosy in La La Land. He has. He missed a significant amount of time. He missed an entire season. The Clippers have not made past the second round in 4 years. And you have to wonder how much of a rebuild will take place with the LA Clippers. Neel, Kawhi Leonard will not win an NBA championship as a member of the LA Clippers. Straight facts or bro, relax?
Straight facts. And I thought that this was probably their best chance this year, and I really liked their chance to get to the Western Conference Finals, to be honest. But what I saw out of them, I got nothing to say but straight facts. Look, Kawhi Leonard has more playoff series wins with the Toronto Raptors than he does with the LA Clippers. And he's been on their team for 5-6 years, and he only played one with us. You just think about that. His only chance at this point, looking back, to win a third championship was if he stayed with us. And, I mean, without him, we took Boston to Game 7 of the semis the next year. And imagine if we had him. You telling me we couldn't have gone back-to-back? Well, hindsight is certainly 2020, as was the year in question that I just spoke about. But, unfortunately – for Kawhi, although I won't go as far as to say that he won't ever win another championship, he won't win one in LA.
It would be a surprise, especially with the...
Unless it's the other LA, possibly.
Well, Luka and Kawhi. I mean, I know that Kawhi signed for a few more years. Pretty sure... Oh, my God. Why am I blanking on the name of the Clippers owner?
Steve Ballmer?
Ballmer, thank you. The passion that he has, and he just seems to be so snake bit. But it's kind of weird to say that time may be running out on the Clippers, but in fact, time may be running out on the Clippers. Swift, over the past couple of seasons, we've seen NBA franchises win their first Larry O'Brien trophy. Of course, it happened here in Toronto. It happened in Denver. Is it possible that we could see it again with the 8 teams that are remaining in the NBA playoffs, the Indiana Pacers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the OKC Thunder? The city, Oklahoma City, have not won a championship. Of course, they did win in Seattle. Is it possible that we could see a first-time winner from those respective franchises? Swift, this year's NBA champion will win their city's first championship, and that either being Indiana, Minnesota, or OKC. Straight facts or bro relax?
Yeah, give me a tough one. Oh my goodness. I will go bro relax just because I heard it from this guy. I guess the guy trained SGA, and he said SGA just don't really have that killer mentality. He don't think he can get over the hump. So I thought they were very interesting. That's my first time hearing somebody say something like that, and I can see why with this young OKC team. They had the Nuggets where they want them at, late in the fourth. For some reason, they want to play this foul game and play the free throw game and keep saying it was just unbelievable how they played that out, and they end up losing. So it tells me that they probably still not ready to make that jump in this series, and I can see them actually losing to the Nuggets. So that's why I'm going with bro. That's because I don't see the Pacers. Even though they get past Cleveland, I don't see them beating the Celtics. If Celtics handle business with the Knicks, and I don't see who's the other team you said Cleveland,
Minnesota.
That's possible with Minnesota with Ant. It just all depends on can the team rise up to the occasion too. It just can't be Ant doing everything. Rudy Gobert got to do that double like he did last game. So yeah, I just don't see these young teams or the teams that haven't never won a championship making it yet because Celtics are still formidable. The Nuggets, like I said, they feel re-energized, so that's a problem. And it's gonna be a hard thing to overcome veteran teams like that know how to win games. And like I said, how the Nuggets put out their win versus them, that's just a clear indication that vets matter, and when it's go time, it's go time.
Yeah, it's always the big debate topic if playoff experience mean anything. And of course, Oklahoma City is one of the younger teams in the league. And, do Indiana and Minnesota have the championship pedigree to get them over the hump? We'll see.
I want to know who this trainer is because
I had seen y'all the video. I was very surprised.
I never disagreed with something, and now he's maybe his trainer, but I never disagreed with something more in a long time. Yeah. Shea is absolutely, to me, that killer. Yeah. He got it, man. He got that Mamba mentality. I'm not saying he's going to be Kobe. I'm not saying he's going to be Jordan. Yeah. I'm saying he got that thing, that mindset.
He said he's going to shrink when the time comes. That's what exact words. I can find a video. In my opinion,
he's never shrunk before. Last year and this year, it's the other guys. They're too young. They're not built for the moment. But he's been built for it. He dropped 31 last night, damn near triple-double. He's leading the league, second in the league in steals, all defensive team, going to be, top two again in MVP.
It's the others.
Man, I don't believe that, man. Trainer or not, that's bullwash to me.
Yeah, I believe I can dig it up. I saw it on TikTok. Because they followed me, I was stopping and listening to it. I'm like, that's my first time ever hearing somebody say that about SGA. I'm like, that's interesting.
Sorry, it is a little surprising, though. Yeah, no, it is a little surprising that this is Shea's 7th season in the league, and over the past couple of years is when he really caught on. This year, especially. I don't know. I mean, it took him a while because usually when you think of the LeBrons, I mean, the Anthony Edwards as well. I mean, yeah, sure, he hasn't won an MVP, he hasn't got to a finals, but people put those players on that pedestal really quick, and it took a while for Shea to get there. It's interesting that the trainer made these comments now. Anyway.
Yep.
Last and certainly not least, RC, we had a good chat about Luka Doncic in the previous hour, and I think all of us are still getting used to the fact that Luka Doncic is not a part of the Dallas Mavericks. And as you guys were saying, I mean, the spotlight's going to be that much brighter. And is he going to be able to accept the challenge? Is Luka Doncic going to get to that place where he may be that much slimmer, that much trimmer, that much more well-behaved to the refs? Or could he go elsewhere? RC, Luka Doncic will not resign with the LA Lakers when his contract is up at the end of next season. Straight facts or bro, relax?
Straight facts. I'm saying straight facts. Well, I've seen it before with Dwight Howard. I thought Dwight Howard, when he was there with Kobe, he would resign, had a billboard in Los Angeles. They laid the red carpet out for him, and he went to Houston because he couldn't handle the bright lights of LA. You know, your best game ain't your best game. What have you done for me lately? And I don't know if Luka wants that type of attention or that spotlight. I think he's a small market guy. I think Dallas was a perfect fit for him. So I think all in all, I think he probably goes elsewhere. If he could go, if he had his pick, he'd probably go back to Dallas. I mean, knowing him. But yeah, I think it's straight facts. I think Los Angeles is going to be in the same predicament that they were in many years ago with Dwight Howard. And when Kobe left and when Magic left, the Lakers going to have to start over. And so they'll be in the start over mode pretty soon. And Laker fans will be happy. Trust me, we want to get our team back. And I want to start watching Lakers play late at night again. Right now, it ain't worth it watching LeBron do it's a circus, it's a complete circus. Just give me my team back is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, they did win the championship. That championship the Lakers won in the bubble. I think that's one of the most impressive ones. I don't know what you guys think about it. Like, I mean, the fact that you have
think about it.
You don't, because
a lot of Laker fans don't really bring it up. They don't really talk about it.
They don't count it.
Is it because that the celebration didn't really happen or wasn't allowed to happen because of COVID? Because these guys are locked in. I know it was Disney World, but I'm sorry, if I'm at any place for 73 days straight or whatever it was, I don't care if it's Disney World or the Playboy Mansion. It's going to feel like jail.
No, I feel like you're locked in, though. You can't do much. I mean, everybody's locked in to play.
Sure, but I think that's the reason. I mean, it's but it wasn't like that World Series where the Dodgers won it in 20, where they played like 60 games, and I mean that was a joke. I mean, like these guys played 2/3 of the season. And then they had the 8 games, and then they did the playoff, and those 8 games in the playoffs were in the bubble.
It was a glorified AAU tournament. It's a glorified AAU tournament. They basically, bro, be real, nobody wanted to be there. Even LeBron didn't want to be there. And when he found out no one wanted to be there, LeBron, being the opportunist that he is, hey, that's capitalized. And then that's put the narrative. That's put the narrative out there that we're in basketball prison when women were at those low. See, there's going to be a documentary that comes out that really shows you what really went on there. You got guys going to Atlanta to get chicken wings. There was a lot going on. So it wasn't basketball prison, okay? It was a controlled environment. And think about this, Randy. In a playoff series, you got to go on the road and win games on the road. They never went on the road. Sure. They just went to the other side. They went to the hotel and came back. Like, they never had to travel to Denver. Never had to travel to Miami. There was no home fans heckling you or making it difficult for you. You was in a controlled environment. It's almost like
but isn't that to my point though? Because I mean, like during the season, I mean, especially with NBA, NFL, whoever, I mean, these athletes, these stars, these celebrities, these multi-million, I mean, they're surrounded by their squads. And I mean, they're going to the club and they're doing all these things, and they're not doing that in the bubble.
But listen to this, though. In that bubble, you had names that came out and were really good in that bubble who have disappeared from the face of the earth. Like, they were able to play in a controlled environment. There isn't, hey, LeBron, you suck. That wasn't going on, bro. They were playing to the audience of a television screen. It was like digital. It was the most weirdest. I don't know if you guys watch wrestling, but it was the same thing. They're wrestling in front of digital people, like television. It was just weird, man. It's nothing about that. It was tough. Look, Randy, I'm gonna compare it to this, bro. I'm gonna compare it to this. Imagine a hockey game and no one there.
Well, that they did the same thing in Toronto and Edmonton.
No one
they had
there.
the same concept. Yeah,
no one there.
Yeah.
Just and you never have to travel. They play all the games in one place, and they eating at the same cafeteria. They playing cards,
hanging out together.
It's like watching Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior hang out and then go wrestle at something. Like, what in the world? What did I just see? So no really competitive.
Yeah.
It wasn't that tough.
Nature.
Man.
It wasn't competitive nature because everybody like hanging out together.
Don't you take that LeBron?
They didn't take it serious.
Don't you take that LeBron?
Serious, I believe.
The LeBron nugget he putting out there to try to pad his being the greatest of all time. That was the toughest experience ever.
Yeah.
No, bro.
That's how you know it wasn't tough. When he got come out and say, "Oh," when they asked him a question, what was the hardest championship you ever won? He like, man, the bubble, that was yeah, that's a lie. When somebody got to say that, yeah, bro, nah.
Hey, but LeBron is always LeBron's always the first guy that's going to tell you how important his accomplishment was.
Right.
Like true greatness, man, true greatness. They let others tell the story. You don't tell the story of your own greatness when that's the debate.
That's
you could
true.
tell your experience, but don't give us a judgment on how great it was.
Yeah.
Let other people do that because that's really when you shine bright.
Yes, sir.
That's how I knew the bubble was bull crap when LeBron came out and said that. I'm like, yeah, you just.
I was just thinking when RC just said they're going to come out with a documentary on the bubble one day, which I would personally love to see that.
Me too.
The inner workings of the bubble. But do y'all think that LeBron would want that to come out though?
No.
Nah.
7 game series. So a 7-game series, like let's say pivotal game 5 on the road. You're not on the road.
Yeah.
You're in the same hotel. You're never facing having to deal with being on the road. You're never dealing with what, like even playing in a playoff game in the National Football League. It was tougher for Tom Brady to go win a Super Bowl during that because he still had to travel. These guys they never moved. They just went right down the hallway down.
And LeBron hate hecklers. Hey, they got talking about me, throw them out. He hate hecklers. So,
but wait a minute. If you're talking about that one heckler in Indiana where those
everybody,
that was awful. That was awful.
Everybody, anybody heckling him, he going call some refs like, hey, they got talking to me.
Yeah, but and I don't know how far you guys travel, Swift and RC, for your jobs, but like when you go on vacation, and I'm guessing that you guys bust out of Mississippi, and maybe whether you go to New Orleans or so. But I mean, you guys want to get out of Dodge, and you want to go see a new city, get some fresh air, go. These guys couldn't do it for 2 months.
They're lying,
Randy. And a resort.
Hey, Randy. That's why we need that's why we need a documentary to come out. They're lying.
There's gonna be some footage of LeBron sneaking out.
Jokic said he had a good time. Like he said, it was fun.
So think about all of us was confined to our homes, right? Everybody, the entire world shut down.
I would hate it. I hated it.
Yeah, but this is the difference. This is the difference, though. You didn't have no one was catering to your every need. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, can you bring me lobster? Click. Oh, can you bring me a beautiful young lady? Click. Oh, can you bring that one? What kind of prison is this where you can basically get everything exactly how you want it?
So everyone got complacent, is what you're saying, and LeBron capitalized.
Yes,
he capitalized.
That's why Jokic said, "Man, I had a good time."
You remember they had I think someone got murdered. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was. I would hate to be wrong about this, but it might have been George Floyd. Somebody passed away. Something happened, and they was electing to go home. Everybody was going to go home to stand so they could unify on one front. And it was going to go home. Okay, listen to this. Then all of a sudden they have a meeting. They had a meeting, and LeBron was on board but leaving. Everybody was going to leave. And then something changed. LeBron
was it Michael Brown?
It might have been Michael Brown.
And Missouri.
Maybe Michael Brown. Okay. And so then all of a sudden there was this thing out there that other players was pissed off at LeBron because he changed his mind. But LeBron I'm not saying he used, okay, now you guys don't, because the Clippers even went from being the favorites in that bubble. The Lakers hadn't beat the Clippers. If the bubble doesn't happen, the Clippers won a championship that year. They was on fire. But the Lakers hadn't beat the Clippers all year until they got in the bubble. Because in that bubble, that's when you had Lou Will leave and go get the wings in Atlanta, and he gets in trouble. You had so much going on. So it's just like, man,
they want to focus.
A glorified AAU tournament. That's all I'm telling you, bro. That's all it was.
And Neel, it looks like you're in agreement as well.
No, well, I wouldn't go that far as RC saying glorified AAU. I still respect it as a championship, but the points he makes are very valid. There's no road game stress. That's a huge factor to me.
Yes.
To be honest, forget about LeBron. I think that really helped Anthony Davis in that run.
Yes.
Not having to be on the road.
Yes.
I don't know that Anthony Davis, although who I think is a great player, I don't know that his mind is built like that to overcome that sort of stress on a consistent basis. LeBron's is, but not him. But I do, in all fairness to LeBron and the Lakers, I do think that was the best Lakers squad he has had since being in LA.
He had everybody. He had every
Caruso.
This man has literally played with every NBA player you could name or imagine from the early to I would say the late 2000s. He didn't play with everybody, man. Dwight Howard, Dion Waiters, Rondo, Carmelo Anthony, D-Wade. He's played with everybody but us. Okay, he's supposed to win. J.R. Smith. He's supposed to win that shit. Dwight Howard is on that. You got to think about it. JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. At that time, you had Caruso, you had Kuzma, you had
Rondo.
You're supposed to win. But here's the kicker with that bubble situation. He not only did he have to face the road game, but who earned the home court? And what is home court in a controlled environment?
Yeah.
They changed the floor to the Miami Heat, but it really ain't in Miami. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, Michael Jordan, I think I would say this. The only thing about it that was impressive was those guys played hard. They did play hard. I'm a Laker fan. I watched those games. I'm like, man, they going after it. They going at it. That's all they got to do is play basketball. So
I guess when you don't got to travel and you just get to stay in one place, everyone's got energy for days.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, that's the most important thing, and that's why I respect it as a championship, because everyone did play hard and everyone cared. And if you get that, then you could question everything else about it. But if you got that, there's legitimacy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
RC, to your point, LeBron played with Derrick Rose and Shaquille O'Neal too.
Yeah. Hey,
Derrick Rose?
I forgot about that
one.
Hey, Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Dwayne Wade, Channing Crowder.
I like Isaiah Thomas. Man, you could come up with like a top 25 LeBron teammates. That would be some list.
And listen, he's played with 25 guys. Michael Jordan had a drunk Dennis Rodman and a Scottie Pippen who was coming into his own. He didn't even get the Dennis Rodman that was in Detroit. He got the Dennis Rodman that he might not show up to the game tomorrow night.
You had to go get him. What are you talking about? You had to go pick him up.
RC, aren't you a LeBron guy? I thought all this time I thought you were a LeBron fan.
I'm a Laker fan. So listen, bro, if you're on my team, I'm gonna ride with you. I just, in the same breath, I'm not gonna tell you Brock Purdy is Joe Montana. That's just me. I'm a realist. I'm not gonna make it seem like what it ain't. I mean, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. If he's not, I think the guy is the greatest. As far as longevity, one of the greatest athletes I've seen, as far as taking care of his body. But you talking about a more scripted, strategic career, like he's actually planning stuff. Like, I'm putting my son on the team. I'm a remake Space Jam. Who does that? Who does that? This guy strategically wears 23.
Wash.
Like, it's just I'm gonna go to the Lakers where Kobe played. I mean, this guy has more control over his career than any man
We're
ever
23
in history.
Absolutely.
And when he's not wearing 23, he's wearing 6.
He's building that legacy to say at 20 years from now, RC's gonna be too old to really remember me, but the young people are gonna remember me. So therefore, I'm gonna ride with the young people. So
now they don't still be buying Jordans. They don't still be buying J's. They don't remember.
Guys,
sure.
Thank you so much for this was just such a blast. And I really hope that we could do another mashup again soon. And I really need to brush up on my college football, that's for sure. But guys, thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate it.
Thank y'all guys. It's always a good time.
I enjoyed it.
Canada.
And even though Flower's not here, I need to give these guys their flowers because I follow you guys' content a lot, and I love the flow, the chemistry, the banter that you guys have. High level analysis on a lot of things, and you guys are a joy to listen to and watch. So you guys do your thing, and I
appreciate that.
I appreciate it, man. You need to come on the other side and get in on the banter. I see you up on your football stuff. I see you up on this football, Flout.
That's all VOF is banter.
That's right. But you know what?
we get after it.
It's good for the soul, man. It's good for the soul.
Right, it's good for the soul. We gotta make the people laugh.
Definitely. And it's too bad that if the stars are aligned, I'm able to meet you guys in person when I
for sure.
in New Orleans. It's I just wish that the Pelicans or the Saints would have been playing. It would have been great to catch a game with you guys. Maybe I'd have to swing over to maybe I'd have to swing over another time. Maybe make it a true weekend. Maybe Thanksgiving weekend in November. I mean, that would be
hopefully the Saints are playing the 49ers in Thanksgiving. That'd be great because they play each other this year. So come on, NFL, give me that Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I'm going.
We've been trying to work on a photo op for the team, and we need to get that done eventually. Get y'all guys. On our page we got our team on a picture. We need to get y'all guys a real photo op made of y'all team.
Yeah, well, Neel. Yeah, Neel has never met Tony in person, and truth be told, like I've only met Neel in person like 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, that's
almost like my team.
Yep.
Because everybody that's on my team know each other through me.
Yeah.
So RC and Flowers never met, or Gatwood. Nobody on the team ever met personally in face. So that's what I've been trying to think of a plan to get everybody together and just do one big photo op and everything, have a good time.
But that shows you the power of technology when it's used correctly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
right.
Keyword is correctly, and there's a lot of beautiful things that come out of it, and a lot of the evils come out of it too. But just like everything else in life, navigating one versus the other is how you maintain.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing.
Did the Knights win? Somebody commented, Betty in Hills, thank you for the comment. She said, "Go Knights." Did they win?
Oh, Golden Knights. Let me take a look.
Oh, she saw your jersey, Neel.
She probably clowning me right now. It's like going into the third period. But to the commenter, we're gonna see. I think I'm looking at a 4-3 end of the game for Edmonton, baby.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
Cam Newton right here.
Neel doing the Superman. Awesome stuff. For Neel, Katarey, Ronnie, RC, Clark, and Ben Swift Reynolds, I am Randy Courret. This is Voice of the Fans Canada. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you're doing well and keeping safe. We will talk to you next time.